This is Steven here, back at it again with another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about some pretty big news that CSG Grading Company just released. But before we get into that, if you enjoy this type of content and would like to see more in the future, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. So now that we got all of that out of the way, we can get into the actual video here. I did want to say that I hope everyone is having a great Saturday and weekend so far. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some recent news that just came out of CSG Grading. Now, I know I'm a little late to the party on this, as a lot of other content creators were able to get videos out yesterday as well as early this morning. This is the earliest I was able to get a video out, but I did want to briefly touch on this topic as I do think it's pretty exciting and big news for the sports card hobby. But essentially what happened, and this is directly from CSG website, so we can assume that it is pretty much official, but they came out with news yesterday on the 25th, and the title of this news says, CSG ups its game with a new label and revised grading scale. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at their new label and also their revised grading scale, and we're going to talk about what that means for CSG as well as other grading companies within the hobby. So I'm going to start off here by reading a little note that they sent out. It starts off by saying, Certified Sports Guarantee, CSG, is excited to reveal its brand new certification label. The bold yet refined design is the result of months of research and development, including market studies, focus groups, and extensive testing. Green is gone in favor of a black, silver, and gold palette that will complement, not compete with, the colors of any card. And if we take a look at their old slabs, here's a Juan Soto 2018 Topps Update rookie card in their old CSG slabs. Now, I've done a submission with CSG, and I've also heard a lot of the same things from content creators as well as other people out there, that the actual slab itself is one of the best slabs out there. It is extremely clear. You can see all the way through the slab. It's extremely sturdy. It's a good size. But the biggest complaint has always been with the green label. A lot of people don't like the color green as it does contrast with a lot of the other cards out there and the different colors in a particular card. And then also the biggest complaint is just the size of the label, as there's a lot of white space in these labels. This one does have subgrades. However, if CSG labels don't have subgrades, there's definitely a lot more white space, and it does kind of take away the actual appeal of the card. And a lot of people focus their eyes on the actual label and how big it is in itself. So good on CSG for actually taking the constructive criticism, and they actually did make an upgrade to their label. And now we can take a look at CSG's new label, and this is a 2000 Bowman Chrome Tom Brady rookie card. Now if we take a look at the label, the colors are definitely a lot more neutral, with the border being a pretty decent size. It appears that it's a blackish or dark blue color with CSG highlighted in gold. The background of the label is a silverish color with the grade font as well as the name of the card and the name of the player. The font of that is also in black. So again, pretty neutral colors. And the label is actually the same size as the old label. However, by adding the border and laying out the font in a different format, it makes the label actually look a lot smaller. There's not as much blank white space. There's no green to really contrast with a lot of the cards out there. So overall, I do think that this is a very neutral label, and I think that that's exactly what CSG was trying to do. They were trying to come up with a label that wasn't too shiny, or a label that didn't really take away from the eye appeal of a particular card, and I think that they really achieved that with this label. It's not the nicest label out there in my opinion, but it's also not the worst label out there in my opinion. So again, I think that they're just trying to come up with a label that complements a particular card and does not take away from the actual appeal of a particular card. And I do think that they achieved that with this label. Let me know down in the comments what you guys and gals think of this particular label. And the last thing I did want to mention on the new label is that this is actually effective as of now. So any cards that are currently in the queue at CSG, those cards are going to be returned with this new label here. And then if you have the old label, which is this green label here with a lot of white space, you can actually send those cards in, and let me find the exact date down here. So it's going to be $5 per card as a reholder fee, and you can send those in and get the new slab with the new label up until June 30th of 2022. So you can still send in your old slabs. They'll return them with a new label, and that's going to cost you $5 per card. I'm not sure what the fee is going to go up to after that June 30th date, but that's currently what they have on their website. So that is the first big news item that CSG came out with, is that they are updating their labels. The second news item that they came out with is pretty big as well, but they're actually updating their grading scale, which I'm going to pull up right here. This is their new grading scale. And this does appear to try to be aligning more with PSA grading in their grading scale. So what CSG essentially did is, in the past, the gem mint status of a card was actually a 9.5, where now they realigned the gem mint to actually be a 10, which is more aligned with PSA. So now when you get a gem mint, that's going to be a 10 as opposed to a 9.5. They are going to have the 0.5 scale all the way down, which I think is fine. But they do have the Mint Plus 9.5, which is slightly better than the Mint 9. But the main change that they're making is going to be the gem mint status of CSG moving forward is going to be a 10 as opposed to a 9.5. And I do think that that is a pretty big deal, because at the end of the day, even though both cards are going to be gem mint, I think that people are always going to want a 10 over a 9.5. I think that that's just going to be how it is moving forward. So I do think that this was a pretty big move for CSG. Another big change that they're making is that they will no longer be accepting subgrades. So you can no longer submit and request to have subgrades. They're saying the main reason for that is because in the past, only about 20% of submitters were actually requesting subgrades. So it was a pretty small percentage of the overall submitters that were actually requesting subgrades. And I think that by just going away with subgrades, that's really going to help them be more streamlined and more efficient moving forward. It's going to take them a lot less time to actually grade these cards if they're not offering subgrades. So I do think that that was a pretty good move on their part, especially if only 20% of submitters were actually submitting to have their cards with subgrades. And then they do have a perfect 10 here, which is going to be pretty hard to get. That's a flawless card. And on this perfect 10, if you are able to achieve a perfect 10, and they actually are going to add subgrades to a perfect 10 where all 4 of the categories will have 10s on that when they send that back. And in order to get a perfect 10, it looks like it has to be flawless under 10 times magnification. So again, pretty hard to get, but those cards will be coming back with all 10s as their subgrades. But other than that, there will be no subgrades moving forward. So overall, some pretty big changes for CSG. They did upgrade their label. They did change their grading scale to have gem mint be a 10 as opposed to a 9.5. I do think that those are pretty solid moves that they made, and it's really going to help them in the future moving forward. But let me know down in the comments what you guys and gals think about CSG's big announcements. But with all that being said, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining and also informative. If you did, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. Thanks, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.